Have you ever wondered why some messages stick in your mind for years, while others are forgotten before you finish hearing them? Today, we're diving into the science and art of storytelling, not just for entertainment, but as the most powerful tool we have for making any message truly unforgettable. Whether you're a business leader, content creator, or just someone who wants to be heard, this is going to change how you communicate forever. Here's the painful truth about why most messages fail to make an impact. We're bombarded with over 5,000 messages every single day. Our brains are literally drowning in information, and they've gotten really good at filtering out anything that doesn't immediately grab attention. Think about the last presentation you sat through. Was it packed with facts and figures but somehow felt empty? That's because humans don't connect with data. We connect with emotions and experiences. Most people just throw information at their audience, hoping something sticks. But without a clear narrative structure, it's like trying to build a house by randomly throwing bricks in the air. After studying thousands of impactful stories, from viral TED Talks to timeless folk tales, I've discovered that all memorable messages share three essential elements. First, every great story has an emotional core. It's not just what happened, but how it felt. When Apple launches a product, they don't talk about processors, they talk about making dreams possible. Second, there's always a clear structure. Think about how Marvel movies keep you hooked. It's not random. They use specific story patterns that our brains are wired to follow and remember. And finally, every memorable story taps into a universal truth, something that resonates with our shared human experience. It's why David versus Goliath stories still captivate us thousands of years later. We all know what it feels like to face overwhelming odds. Let's break down why storytelling transforms ordinary information into extraordinary messages. The difference between forgettable and unforgettable communication often comes down to how we present our message, not just what we're saying. Traditional communicators overwhelm their audience with data points and statistics, thinking more information equals better understanding. Story-driven communicators focus on why the information matters and how it changes lives. They present everything in a straightforward, chronological order, missing opportunities to create suspense or curiosity. They take their audience on an emotional journey, creating anticipation and delivering satisfying payoffs. They maintain a safe corporate distance, afraid that getting personal might seem unprofessional. They share relevant personal insights and vulnerabilities that build trust and rapport. They state facts plainly, missing the power of metaphors and examples that make concepts stick. They use vivid imagery and concrete examples that make abstract concepts feel real and tangible. Let me share a powerful storytelling framework that works for everything from TED Talks to business presentations to social media posts. Every great story starts in what I call the comfort zone. Think about how Pixar begins, Inside Out, with a happy family living their normal life. This creates an immediate connection with your audience because they can see themselves in the situation. You want to begin with something your audience instantly recognizes, their daily challenges, common beliefs, or shared experiences. This is where you establish what normal looks like before any changes occur. The more your audience can relate to this starting point, the more invested they'll be in the journey ahead. Then comes the call to change, that moment when the comfortable bubble has to pop. This is your inciting incident, the problem, opportunity, or question that disrupts the status quo. The key is creating enough tension to make your audience lean in and want to know more. The bigger the potential impact, the more invested your audience becomes in the outcome. The journey is where transformation happens. This is where most people rush, but it's actually where you should slow down and dig deeper. Each obstacle should reveal something meaningful about the solution or insight you're sharing. These moments of learning are what make your message memorable and actionable. The journey should feel earned too easy, and the message loses impact. Finally, we have the transformed return, bringing your insights back to help others. This is where you connect your specific journey to universal principles anyone can apply. Show both the external change, what happened, and the internal change, why it matters. End by empowering your audience to take their own first step toward transformation. The power of storytelling isn't just creative theory, it's backed by fascinating neuroscience that explains exactly why stories work so well. When we hear a story, our brains actually sync with the storyteller's brain, a phenomenon called neural coupling. It's like a wireless connection between minds, allowing us to experience the story as if it's happening to us. Our mirror neurons fire up when we hear a story, activating the same areas that would light up if we were actually performing the actions in the story. This is why you tense up during chase scenes in movies. Your brain is partially experiencing the chase. Good stories trigger dopamine release when we experience moments of tension, curiosity, or satisfaction. This is the same chemical that makes social media so addictive, but we can use it to make our messages more engaging and memorable. Most importantly, stories engage multiple brain regions simultaneously. Emotion, sensation, and meaning all work together. This creates what scientists call neural scaffolding, making information up to 22 times more memorable than facts alone. If there's just one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this fundamental truth about storytelling. Great stories don't teach lessons, they create experiences. This distinction is absolutely crucial. When we focus on teaching, we often fall into the trap of explaining and lecturing. But when we focus on creating experiences, we naturally engage emotions, build tension, and make our message unforgettable. Think about your favorite teacher. They probably didn't just tell you facts, they made you feel something, discover something, experience something new. That's the real magic of storytelling, and it's what separates forgettable information from unforgettable messages. Let me share 4 advanced techniques that will instantly elevate your storytelling from good to absolutely unforgettable. Instead of starting at the beginning, drop your audience right into an intriguing moment of action or decision. It's like that friend who starts a story with, "You'll never believe what happened next." You're instantly hooked. For example, start your presentation with 3 minutes before the biggest pitch of my life, everything went wrong. Don't just tell people what happened. Help them see, hear, and feel it. Instead of saying, "It was a successful launch," say, "The crowd erupted in applause, phones lit up with notifications, and our server crashed from the flood of new users." These vivid details make your story live in the listener's mind. This is a technique Netflix uses masterfully. Start mysteries or questions that you don't immediately resolve. Your audience's brain will literally stay engaged because it wants closure. Plant seeds early that bloom later in your story, and watch engagement skyrocket. Never end with just a conclusion, end with a bridge to action. Give your audience a clear, specific next step that lets them become part of the story. Instead of "Thanks for listening," try, "What story will you tell differently tomorrow?" Share it in the comments below. Let's look at how you can apply these storytelling techniques in everyday situations that actually matter. In job interviews, instead of listing your achievements, frame them as challenge-solution stories. For example, don't just say, "I increased sales by 50%. Instead, share the story of how you identified the problem, what obstacles you faced, and how your unique approach led to that breakthrough moment. For sales pitches, stop leading with features and specs. Start with your customer's current reality, build tension around their pain points, and then position your solution as the bridge to their desired future. One of my clients tripled their conversion rate using just this simple shift. On social media, use micro-stories to stand out. Instead of posting "Great workshop today," tell a 2 to 3 sentence story about one participant's breakthrough moment. Notice how accounts with the highest engagement rarely post raw information. They post tiny stories that make people feel something. Even in daily conversations, try turning updates into mini stories. Rather than saying "Traffic was bad today," say, "You won't believe how I turned a 40-minute traffic jam into the most productive part of my day." See how that instantly creates more engagement? Let's turn everything you've learned today into concrete action steps. You can start right now. First, start your story mining exercise. Take 10 minutes right after this video to write down 3 experiences from the past week that taught you something valuable. These are your story seeds. Remember, they don't have to be dramatic, Small moments often make the most relatable stories. Next, join our 30-day story challenge. Every day for the next month, transform one ordinary update into a story using the story circle framework we discussed. Share it anywhere, social media, with friends, or just in your journal. I'll pin a detailed challenge guide in the comments below. Practice applying the framework to different situations. Take one piece of information you need to communicate this week, maybe a work presentation or family news, and map it onto the 4 parts of the story circle. I've created a free template you can download using the link in the description. Finally, share your best story in our community. I'll be featuring the most transformative examples in next week's video. Plus, connecting with other storytellers is the fastest way to improve. Drop your story in the comments, and let's learn from each other.